What's going on, guys? It is Patreon video time. So we actually are jumping back into it. I apologize for the screen. Going to be jumping back and forth between some other stuff that we are doing, and I'm going to be getting a lot of YouTube content done today. We're going to be changing Gas or Pass into like an online running YouTube series, and I'm going to be posting all that stuff to the Patreon members unlisted so everybody can watch them as they'd like. And I'm not going to say I'm going to be super toxic with this shit, but there's a pretty good chance after listening to some of the shit that we have the last couple of nights that we were doing this, it's gonna get pretty be shitting on people that are using no effort to get their stuff done. But to answer the question that we had, what I'm about to show you guys is literally how to get music into your library to actually play with it in VDJ if you choose to. But I have a caveat here. Now, again, I want to make this very clear. This is stealing. I do not advocate for stealing. If you're going to use this process at all, make sure that you are liked, subscribed, and down the road you pay it forward. If you use the content in a mix, make sure that you tag those people. Give them the kudos for their track. Do not just take things and don't do something back for that artist. Doesn't matter if you're at the lowest level in your basement making these mixes, XYZ. If you're going to post this stuff and going to utilize it for your own personal gains or personal mixes, make sure that you tag those people in the mixes for description so people can find that artist or that track that they did. So it still like is you in some way, shape, or form paying that back. Not everybody gets music and plays with that stuff just so they can make money or to get listens, but you always have to make sure if you're going to use this process, do me a massive favor. Make sure that you are paying that forward and giving those guys a little bit of that credit, because if you can't afford to do so right now, when you can, obviously you go back, you buy those tracks off of Beatport, you buy those tracks specifically so you can actually use the full tracks, and be very careful with this method for another reason as well. Not all of these tracks are compressed the same. Coming off of something like YouTube, pay very close attention to where your gains, where the rest of your treble, bass, everything is lined up in something like VDJ, and try to make your mix as fluent as possible. Now, there are programs that you can stuff everything into, so it kind of does a blanket compress over everything to make sure that your mix is not wildly loud for one track and then really soft for the other. But this process will hem you up a little bit if you're not paying attention with your earballs. All the stuff that we talked about with basics for a long fucking time, right? So, okay, let's say, for instance, you're an absolute glutton for punishment and you really want this David Guetta and BB Rexa track, I'm Good with Blue. This is the official music video release, right? Let's say that you want to grab this really quick. We're going to grab this. So you're just getting the address for it. You're going to come into YouTube. To MP3 converter. Now, there's a couple of like really heinous programs that do this, so you have to be super careful not to let it download things onto your computer and to watch what it's actually grabbing for two reasons. One, sometimes they name them awkward, but two, you don't want to grab something extra and then get absolutely boned because it put extra shit on your computer. Do not screw yourself on that one. For me personally, let's jump into this guy. I want to see the screen that I'm used to. So you put the YouTube link right here, hit start. It's there. It's asking if you want it in the MP3, MP4, like how you want it. We're just going to go with the MP3. Keep it simple for the smallest size. We're going to convert that really fast. Now we're going to download. So there's the download. This is the part where you do not accept and install. You click out of that hooker right there. Then you come down here, go to your downloads, and it's right there. Now, to help yourself out, as soon as you get this track as well, you do want to get rid of whatever its stamp and title is. I'm Good Blue. Get rid of that part as well. Delete these extra and slap. Now you've got the track. You can actually take this and drag it directly into VDJ. I'll just open VDJ so you guys can... Why is it not on this rig? Anyway, after we did the reformat, apparently I still have to grab VDJ still. You can drag that file directly from here into your VDJ so you can actually utilize it. So if you guys are interested, we might as well just do that part two since this is all fun. Well, we're going to go to VDJ, search it. I'm going to double check and make sure I don't have it sitting on my... Awkward if it... Holy thousand screen. I thought we grabbed this already. Have we not had a fucking actual DJ night since I did the reformat? Wicked. Okay, so there's a thing we need to do. Awkward. All right, yeah, let's bring this up. Maximize that again. Virtual DJ. Download. Download for Windows. Not put that in Final Fantasy. Weird fucking weird. No, don't. It's put it to downloads. And blam. Got that in. Fire that thing up. Now, again, whether you use VDJ, use Serato, there's no wrong answer for any of this stuff. I've used VDJ for years and still have an active lifetime license for it. So I'm always going to use it for that reason specifically. But honestly, I love both of those programs. I just don't have as much comfort with Serato. Whichever one you dive into, it just like stay there is my best advice to you, because the tool that you can use the most fluently is the one that's best for you, right? So for some, there's what we're, yes. We're going to launch VDJ. Now, it's actually going to ask if you want to log in at some point in time. Nope, right up here. If you guys decide to buy stuff through these guys, you can actually log in, purchase it. This is one of the cheaper, like versions of this thing. I think I still have Pro as well. You can actually change like the Beats waveform. You can see it a little bit better kind of thing, but the layout for it, I would suggest keeping it in starter first, just so you can learn how everything moves around and what it does specifically. But again, you decide to dump into these guys, it is relatively cheap. I would definitely save the money and get like the 1 year thing for it. But then just like we said, you can actually come into downloads, grab this David Guetta track, drag it directly into a track. It's going to read it. Now look at the difference that we just talked about in between the track sizes. This is the thing you have to pay attention to. Here's the Mala track. You can clearly and easily see each of the beats from Mala in the extras, so you can keep track with your earballs to make sure that you are going to be lined up for stuff. Here's what the stolen YouTube track sounds like. There's the impacts. Let me slide this way. Let's get to where David Guetta actually uses a kick. Oh. Does he ever? Like, literally? There we go. Okay. So if these peaks are close, then you're probably going to be in the okay section for what it's going to sound like even-wise. But do notice that some of these peaks that they have for this track are, it's going to be when like the highs and the kick are hitting at the exact same time. Make sure that if you're going to do any mixing and do it live through VDJ, that these peaks are somewhere near each other. Do that real easy just by adjusting some of the overall, your gains. Bring the volume down just a little bit, because this is what you're going to be hearing and what you're going to record as well. Either way, when you're doing it like this, again, there's not a lot of metrics that are going to help you guys make sure that everything is nice and smooth. When you export, you'll be able to actually see where the waveforms are after you've saved a mix in VDJ or done it live, so you can kind of shrink and control some things. But it's all about just listening. What you're hearing is right here on both sides, and it's super easy. It's super fun to play around with, and the base program for this is free. So again, find one of these, one of the Steelers that's on there. Grab the stuff. Make sure if you're going to utilize this process to get yourself a little more full in terms of music, be sure to support the creator as much as you possibly can. I mean, whether that be through merch, likes, subscribes, anything that's available, but getting that entire like music folder full is what makes VDJ fun, because then you can actually throw in and mix and match a bunch of different things that you want to and put stuff together with your spin on it. But again, this literally is stealing. And I don't advocate for stealing. I don't advocate for taking money away from content creators. However, If you're going to utilize it for personal gain, put mixes together, things like that, just make sure to run the gambit. If you can, when you can, support that artist any way possible. Keep in mind, every one of the listens that they have probably cost them or made them a fraction of a cent. However, if you're going to put those mixes up on Mixcloud or SoundCloud or anything else, make sure you're tagging the artist to give them the kudos, and you're not like straight up not respecting the time those people put in, even if it's David Guetta and there's literally no time invested at all. So yeah, that's kind of how you can go through and get that stuff done. Be careful with the downloader. A lot of them like to pop shit up and try to get you to download something else for free or put something else on your computer. Use your eyes. Be a sensible and smart internet user, and don't put extra shit on your computer that you don't need. A lot of the shit they have there is like, it's supposed to be Avast, it's supposed to be something else, and it's actually something much more nefarious and terrible for your computer. So just pay attention to those, close the extra browsers, grab the stuff that you need to, and then move on. You can drag that right into whatever you're going to be using, and then get used to looking at these. As you start to like need extra stuff, you've got different ways to look at, so it actually kind of looks exactly like it would on a deck or on a Nexus in the midsections here. You've got ways that you can adjust all of that with your layouts, including like something like full decks, or bringing some of that stuff down, going to specifically just the mixer so you can adjust the gains yourself on each side. There's a bunch of different ways. VDJ kind of becomes your Lego DJ virtual like setup. So you can adjust this however the hell you want, and you can grab extras, add effects, different things. Here's like actual custom pads. If you click on something for the custom buttons, it's going to give you a readout for it. Don't be scared of it. I highly, highly recommend. If you're going to start jumping in and doing something and want to keep it relatively not costing you money, this is the route to go first. It's also a way for you to just to kind of get the tap of your foot. Am I tone deaf? Does this sound right together? Can I follow those beats per minute? Am I tapping my feet to that beat so I can make effortless transitions? This is the way to test that. Highly recommend doing it. And again, can't stress this enough. Be sure to support those artists if you're going to grab that music. I do not advocate for stealing stuff, but everybody's got to start somewhere. Even Steve Aoki stole the shit out of FL's full production shit. So yeah, here's a video for catch up on the DJ side. Highly recommend grabbing this stuff. And since we do listen to Hot 15s, if you guys have got something you want me to take a listen to as a submission with a free thing you can do and a free way to grab music, because you've got ideas, remember, all of this stuff is stuff that you guys can submit, we can take a listen to, and then help you get along with your journey, especially for the DJ side. I can talk about this shit and do this stuff all day long. Production side, I have to actually do some research and maybe figure some stuff out, because I'm not as good at that side, and you guys know that. But tell me what you guys think. If you guys like these how-to videos, we're going to keep pumping some more of these out today, including the Gas or Pass series. I'm going to get this uploaded today for you guys in the Patreon side. If you have any questions, as always, be sure to put them in the Patreon chat. Just ping me or message me direct. You guys know I'm pretty good about responding to that stuff. Thank you so much. Stay in the mix, and see you guys back for the next one.